The real estate wholesaling game has put you in a matrix. The wholesaling gurus have put you on a matrix. If you're on a journey right now to get your first wholesaling real estate deal, the gurus have you locked down. You are stuck in the matrix and you are unable to get your first wholesaling deal. What we want to do today is give you the red pill for wholesaling real estate, show you the truth, show you reality, show you exactly how to get your first deal in under 2 weeks. Here's the issue. The gurus don't want you to know about the truth. If they knew the absolute truth of how to get your first wholesaling deal, the rule of threes, the rule of exactly how to focus on these three things to get your first real estate wholesaling deal. It takes 2 weeks. That is it. And we're going to give you the red pill today and show you the absolute truth. The problem is the gurus will be going after us for this. They cannot sell you a $2,000, $3,000 program. And you're going to see the exact truth of what it takes for wholesaling success. Ready to wake the people up?
Yeah. So guys, the red pill is the cure. If you take the blue pill that every guru is chasing in your back pocket, you're going to get stuck. You got to get through the matrix. I'm telling you, dude, I've been through this journey for 21 years. Nobody tells you the truth on how it is. So the whole purpose of me and Zach being here is to cut you through the crap, get you to your first deal. Not only your first deal, get you to your first 100 grand. We have the red pill to give you the cure for it. Do not take the blue.
Exactly. So is that, or I could wear the suit jacket? I thought this would be better. That'll show you we are
Never do that.
we're the Morpheus of the wholesaling game. So we're excited. We're ready to go. Guys, it's all fun and games, but it's the absolute truth. There is a wholesaling matrix going on, and they're stopping you from becoming successful in this business. So if you're ready to go, if you're excited to learn how to get your first deal under 2 weeks, you already know what to do. Guys, make sure you come out here and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below questions, and I'll help you become the best wholesaler you possibly can be. So without further ado, cue the intro. Let's get going, and let's get our first wholesaling real estate deal. Let's do it.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Oh, snap. We're ready to go. We're excited. I'm ready, guys. We're going to share exactly how to get your first wholesaling real estate deal right now, and exactly in under 2 weeks, how you can do it and become as successful as possible. So without further ado, let's share how to get your first wholesaling deal in under 2 weeks, escape the wholesaling real estate matrix, and become insanely rich in this business. So I'm excited, I get so many new wholesalers that come in and they want to learn this business, and they're a little worried. They're a little scared. It's a very overwhelming process. It's a very overwhelming thing. And it's a big, brave thing to go say, hey, I'm going to make a change in my life right now. Mm-hmm. And once you make that change in your life, that you're ready to do whatever it takes to become successful, get your first deal, that's when the real work starts. The real work's not deciding. The real work's taking the action. So what we're going to do is just give you a 2-week, basically action plan guide with the rule of threes of how you can do it. I think so many wholesalers they overcomplicate this business. And what I want to do is just simplify it so you can get your first wholesaling real estate deal, how you can be as successful as possible. But I truly believe so many people, they're getting lost, right? They're in that little wholesaling matrix from the gurus. And
no, like even today when I was looking through my feed, just like you guys are, a famous designer on the West Coast that does all high-end retail now has a little secret to share for you called wholesaling, and they're going to show you how to do it. Guys, if you're going to take information from a fix and flip and a designer, you're going to get killed. Why are they doing it? Because someone goes, man, you can make a lot of money in this wholesaling niche and coaching. Guys, They're all coming at you. This is what we refer to as a matrix. They're going to come high and hard. I'm a little shocked at designers coming after it, because if you're really making millions and millions of dollars doing that, so you guys know who it is, but it's crazy. Why would a designer go after a whole? And the designer's never ever done a wholesale deal, and somebody probably said, hey, you got this wholesaling thing, we can sell the crap out of it. I'm here to tell you, man, guys, pay attention. It's getting nuts out there. It's absolutely crazy. So you have to navigate through this landmine. I've been through it. I just kind of avoid it. And I want to tell you guys, get past the distractions. We're going to sit here today and show you how to get started if you want to get a deal within 2 weeks. But you've got to bring the work. You got to bring the attitude.
Yeah, exactly. And I truly believe, I don't know who you're talking about, and we are not saying anything bad about anybody, but what I could tell you is there's a lot of fake people out here, right? Yeah, I know.
Beautiful flowing hair.
Okay. Yeah. So what we're going to do today is show you how to get your first wholesaling real estate deal in under 2 weeks. We're going to share the exact guide and how you can do it. So without further ado, let's break it down. Let's get into it, and let's share exactly how anybody can go out here in wholesaling and get their first dang wholesaling deal. So the first thing we got to understand here is, what is wholesaling? How do I get my first deal? Things like, and we've gone over this a million times, but I want everyone to understand, if you are wanting to get into wholesaling and you actually want to go learn real estate wholesaling, we do have a free course. It's called wholesaling.com. It'll show you the fundamentals. We are assuming in this video you understand some basic fundamentals of wholesaling. We are assuming you know some key terms, and that's what we're going to break down today. And that's what we're going to so for example, like if I say the word cold calling, I hope you understand some concepts of it. If you don't, go to freewholesaling.com. It'll show you the basic thing. We actually have a lingo dictionary.
You don't have to DM and go through a phone call to get that information.
No. You can just go through I have a little acronym guide, and shows you the little acronyms I say and some of the new terms, because it's crazy for beginners. A lot of these people, gurus are be like, oh, ARV, and they'll say MAO, and they see all these terms that sound so confusing starting out. And what we want to do is just simplify the process and honestly just break you through the matrix. So let's kind of break this down and let's get into it. You want to get your first deal in 2 weeks or less. Let's break it down. So let's talk about the biggest obstacle. The first thing we have to address is the biggest obstacle in wholesaling real estate for anybody getting their first deal. And here's the big issue I want to address starting out. A lot of people think the biggest obstacle to their success is the amount of money they have, where they live, what they look like, what they sound like. And honestly, or some people think it's like how intelligent they are. Like it's none of that. Do I have a degree? No, it's none of those things. The true thing that is going to stop you from becoming a success in wholesaling, the one obstacle is your mind. It is what you call the thing between your ears, right?
Oh yeah.
It's the mind, right? The mind is going to be the thing that is going to be the biggest obstacle from your success, right? If you can overcome the thoughts in your brain that is stopping you from becoming successful, nothing will stop you. When you have the mindset of a champion, nothing will stop you.
And the reality is, listen, if you're young, you're old, it doesn't matter. You guys, I didn't figure it out till I was in my 30s. Okay. You are a product of the environment around you. Now, you didn't choose your family. We love our family. We don't choose them. But your family probably has the biggest influence on how you think about money and how you operate within your financial boundaries. The second one is going to be the school system. We're not even going to go down that road, because you already know that's going to majorly handicap you. In fact, school did not teach you anything about money unless you took a basic economics class. Maybe in high school, maybe a little bit in college. And honestly, most of that information is dated. And the third biggest influence is going to be your circle of friends. These are most of the people you grew up. I'm here to tell you, to make change, you're going to have to step outside, because those are the three things that are actually holding your mind back. And if you are open to it, I'm not telling you have to lose all your friends stuff. You're going to lose a lot of them. It's better off for you, because when you grow and you prosper, people question you. And the reason is you're making them feel insecure. I struggled with this for a long time. And I'm here to tell you, your family loves you, but they didn't educate you on financial. School system destroyed you. Sorry. And your friends, for the most part, they're a lot of fun, but they're broke. So you're going to have to break out of those 3 circles and open your mind up because you're so programmed. Now, here's the good news is your brain doesn't fully develop, I think, till you're 32, 33, 25, whatever.
Prefrontal
I missed
cortex.
it. So it doesn't matter about, guys, I woke up in my 30s and said, I tried the old system. So it doesn't matter if you're young or old. You've got to understand your mind is the biggest determining factor of where you're going to go with wholesaling. Understand who's influenced you at this point, why you think that way. And you're going to have to open your mind up to find people's shoes you want to be in.
Exactly. And if you can get over yourself and the negative thoughts you have in your brain, it'll change everything. The biggest issue I have when I'm helping beginner wholesalers get their first deal is they always say, oh, I tried to find a cash buyer, but I couldn't. Or, the cash buyer just fell through. The deal fell through. It's such a ambiguous term. The deal just fell through. It did not fall through. It fell through because either you did not follow up with the cash buyer, you didn't actually go out here and get a good enough deal, all these things, right? I think so many wholesalers out here, they truly believe that the deal just magically didn't work out, or I just magically can't find any deals. No, guys, to get a wholesaling deal, it's all about the volume of marketing you have and how much work you've put into that, right? And the follow-ups and things like that. But like a lot of people like to make excuses. Oh, I'm just not good enough. I don't deserve it. All this stuff. It drives me insane. Guys, change your thinking and it will change everything. So that being said, I want you guys to have a positive mindset going into wholesaling. I can't do it mindset. Anybody can do it. If this dummy can do it, and if you can do it,
this dummy.
like we're both big dummies over here.
Hey, guys, listen. My SAT score is I was so embarrassed so long by it, and I'm here to tell you, the wealthiest people I know in this world, the people I associate the most with, it's not about who's the smartest, because that's what you were taught in school. It's about who has the most conviction to see something through. That is it. That is the real secret to becoming free and becoming financially free. So many of you guys think whoever got the best grades and the best scores can be it. Theoretically, it should work that way. The reality is it doesn't, because those people will wind up working for you. But I'm here to tell you, the journey through wholesaling, it is a minefield and you have to work through it. No, I have never met, and you can vouch that I've never met anyone who went through wholesaling and goes, man, that was so easy. I just went through it. But here's the problem. You guys got a matrix behind you. Every guru is telling you how simple and how easy it is and how perfect their life is. Number one, you're not getting a real snapshot of anyone's life. Everyone who's gone through this business has been through a massive journey, and we all wanted to quit multiple times. The difference is we had the conviction to get through it, and it's hard, especially your first year or two. Now, I can't sell that script, that truth, and sell you a course package. And this is the number one way you're getting fooled. So you do have to fix your mind. If you hire a guru or you use me and Zach for free, I will tell you, you will not succeed if you don't fix your broken mind. And the last secret I'm going to share on this is you've got to let your ego go. Your ego is your mind's ability, your subconscious to tell you you're always right. You guys know people that are always right. They are a nightmare. You can't teach them anything. They're done. So stop looking rich and learn to become rich. And that is the first step to losing your ego and actually learning how the real financial world works.
Exactly. So if you're ready to get your first wholesaling deal, let's break this down. Let's get into it. I want everyone to understand we make this business super simple because it really is. It's not as complicated as it seems. So
we're complicated. You're complicated. That's the problem.
You're making it complicated.
And if we could get out of your own head to do it, and you could take the action plan to move forward, you'll do fine with it. But you've got to fix what's in your head.
Exactly. So first question is where to find a wholesaling deal, right? So the big question, there's mostly
I'm looking.
Where? There's the big, it's where do I go, right?
Is there one in my is there a duplex in my driveway when I pull up home from work?
It doesn't work like that, right?
No. I wish.
You could do virtual wholesaling or regular wholesaling, right? Now, freewholesaling.com, we do break all the stuff down, but it's here's a general rule for everybody watching this. You can write this down. It's at freewholesaling.com. So, I can repeat it all day, but if your real estate market has a population of above 100,000 for the city, maybe for the county, and the median home price is below 400,000, it's a great wholesaling deal. Now, here's the issue. If it is a population that's too low, it ain't going to work, right? So the key point here is to find a good wholesaling market is you want to find areas where there's a big population and then lower prices. And really the way is because when you have a bigger population, you have a lot of cash buyers. When you have a deal, you want a wide array of cash buyers. I get somebody in like, Suttonville, Texas with like 400 people living in. They're like, I can't sell this deal. I'm like, duh. You can't sell that deal because nobody lives there, right? There's 400 people, not enough cash buyers. But then you get the problem. There's a lot of people, but the prices are too high.
Mhm.
And when the price is too high, it's very hard to get a good discount, because to get a 10% discount off of a Doritos chips, that's $3, 10% off, 30 cents. Fine, take it, right?
Doritos, dude, you're making me hungry.
I love Doritos, but if I want to get 10% off your $4 million house, 400 grand, human beings can't justify that, right?
Mhm.
But they can justify it on a lower price. So that's why wholesaling a $100,000 house is way easier to get a big discount versus a $1 million house. So I found when houses are below $400,000 on average, that means you're dealing with houses that are 250, 300 probably, maybe even below that. That's a really sweet spot in wholesaling.
Yeah, and those higher price points, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a realtor involved, and they want nothing but the highest price. Plus, you have a higher level of sophistication of a seller. And for those reasons, for a beginner, it's just not the best place to start. Not saying you can't do it, but to take on real estate agents, a higher seller IQ on a property, and you are lacking the experience, those are a recipe for disaster. Here's the reality. The Matrix right now is selling you entire courses on how to flip these MLSs. And I'm here to tell you the success rate is so minute. It's frustrating and killing most people that start in this business. I am a huge fan of off-market, like low-price properties, but we all have to start somewhere. So don't start at the top of the mountain where you're going to have to deal with realtors. You don't have to do the conversation. You're dealing with people that only want the top price. Why would you start there? Not saying you can't do it, but I'm here to tell you is we're trying to give you the best success blueprint to get started in wholesaling. So pick your mountain to climb on and get the one at least you have a shot at, because that other way, I take it through a 90-day course, but at the end, you're probably still going to be exactly where you started, and you're probably going to be about $5,000 lighter.
Exactly. And then on top of this too, when you really want to find a good wholesaling market, this is the honest truth. You just got to look for what they call working class neighborhoods. Okay. So there's 4 or 5 type of neighborhoods in every given city. So if you live in Dallas, Houston, Memphis, Atlanta, Miami, like all these cities in the United States, it's considered a metro market, right? If there's I don't know, if there's an NBA team there, if there's an MLB team, or at least a major sports team there, it's probably a big enough market, right? That it's good enough, right?
I used to pick them if there was a Home Depot there.
Yeah, there's Home Depots
back in the day,
but there's Home Depots in very low populations. But like for every city, if it's big enough, that's a population over 200,000, you should be fine, right? And so honestly, what I can tell you is there's about 4 or 5 type of places. There is, I'm just saying this bluntly, there are things they call the hood, right? There's basically what that is. If you really want to get a definition, they are just considered high crime areas. Every single city has it. The pocket of crime in a city is usually in the downtown region. I mean, it's just that's where people populate. And then there's just areas that are lower priced and higher crime. That's all I can explain on it, right? In every city, there is one, right? Unfortunately, that's the truth. In the entire world, that's what it is. I wish there was zero crime, but unfortunately, there is. And those areas are kind of hard for wholesaling. Prices are really cheap because of that. But unfortunately, you have a higher chance of somebody breaking in the property. You have a higher chance of that property getting destroyed. Squatters going in the house, right? Drug addicts sometimes sneak in there. And I'm not saying this just to generalize. This happens to us. We've wholesaled houses in high crime areas, get broken in, get squatters in there. People leave needles everywhere. It's not as profitable because you deal with a lot of it's annoying. And so this is not an area that's really good for wholesaling. On the other spectrum, you have the nice glitzy glamour places, right? It's just insane properties, millions of dollars. That's not good either, right? And in between that, the second one is it's in between working class and the hood. It's kind of like working class light, like very cheap, crime's a little higher than average, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
That's okay. Type of neighborhoods 3, this is the best one. It's the middle range. It's what we call working class neighborhoods, where they're the same houses as the ones in the quote unquote hood, but it's low crime because who's living there are people that work regular jobs, like working class jobs, blue collar, some white collar. They're maybe a manager at like a restaurant. They go out here and they're a janitor, they're a car mechanic, sanitation services, right? Like just very basic necessities of life where people live, and they honestly do the work not a lot of people appreciate enough, right? And just working class neighborhoods, teachers, like those type of professions, they're not making a ton of money, right? Under 6 figures on average, but they're good people and they don't commit crimes and they have their kids living there. And there's a majority of those houses. Now, those type of houses are what they call starter homes, where I'm trying to buy a house and I don't have a lot of money. That's a house I'm going to start out. Those are usually older homes that are smaller, usually 1,000, 1,200 square feet. And they need a little bit of work. They're not crazy, maybe not completely updated, but those are great properties because the reason why I love starter homes is we have some family members actually trying to, they're working great jobs, but like they're trying to get a mortgage, right? They're in their young 20s, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to get a house and they're like, oh my gosh, they try to bid on the cheaper houses, right? And then it's getting outbidded. And that's kind of the reason. When I can go buy a house like that that's distressed, I sell it on the MLS. Everybody wants that because they can't afford a $500,000 house, right? They got to go like the 200.
And they can't afford the rehab, so they want someone to eventually do the rehab. I don't do the rehab unless it's super, super simple. But it's, the thing is, Zach's trying to give you the whole spectrum of the different types of houses you do. Here's the truth. I've done every one of them. And the crazy thing is, eventually you will do $1 million homes. Here's the best part about wholesaling is the same skill set you'll use for those $1 million homes, other than adding the realtor language, which is something you learn over time. And we're happy to teach you. It's not that hard. It's the same skill set as buying a house in the hood, just different types of risks, either physically or financially.
Financial risks are the big one.
Correct. So you have to kind of, so the whole idea of why most of you are attracted to wholesaling is you want to change the trajectory of your life and you don't like your financial situation and you really want to get freedom of time. That's why I'm here. That's how I got into wholesaling. And honestly, that's the message I will always preach. It will never change. And so you minimize your risk and you just got to go out and learn to talk to many people as you can and create as many leads as possible. And that's why wholesaling is so attractive. And then as you get more and more skill sets, remember, wholesaling is the foundation of real estate investing. I find people that do the best in any type of real estate investing always have a core foundation of wholesaling. I can always tell when someone comes to me and they've taken like a creative financing course and they've never done a wholesale deal. I'm not saying they won't do deals. They'll never grasp wholesaling because a lot of people do it to navigate around wholesaling. I'm here to tell you, get that core. Learning wholesaling is like learning math. You can't learn algebra till you understand the fundamentals of math. Wholesaling translates to every corner of real estate investing, all the way up to billion-dollar deals. I'm telling you, if I have a wholesaler and I'm competing on a deal, I have to pay attention. You give me a creative guy or like a realtor stuff, I don't even slightly worry about it. And it is a skill set that carries over in every other part of your life. Once you understand how to make a ton of money, how to minimize your risk, and how to truly help people out, it's unbelievable. So guys, please don't think, well, I'm just going to skip wholesaling because I heard it's hard. Choose your hard, guys. I'm here to tell you, I'm here to discipline you. Understand, if you can put in the fight with it, amazing things will happen. I've done the lowest end properties. I've been chased down. I've been chased by dogs. I've had my back windows broken out. I already know the risk, man. Like I just stopped. I made money in it.
That's not going to be you guys.
But it was hard.
But if you wholesale in the hood, things like that will happen. Unfortunately, we're just saying that we're just trying to not, I'm trying to give you a warning. If you wholesale in high crime areas, I'm not saying that like you're going to get, it's risky, but like it is kind of risky because I found as someone that wholesaled in high crime areas, there's a bigger chance that a crime will be committed to you. And I'm just trying to say like it is. I'm not saying this in a mean way or bad way. I've been told that I'm not allowed to be in this neighborhood. And I've gotten all these things, right?
So
And
it's,
so I'm just trying to tell you, I would avoid that for now, especially starting out.
I did it. And I tell you what, if you want to increase your 40-yard dash, do it, because when a dog takes off after you, you hit a gear that you didn't even know you had. And I've had that happen multiple times to me. So the easiest rule, if you're like, okay, I don't want to do the low one, I don't want to do the high one, the safest thing you can do is say, listen, if you are comfortable or driving at night and walking around the house and you feel safe there, that's a good place to start. If you don't, please take the warning. Me and Zach don't want to put anybody in physical harm. It's just not worth it. If you have to have like security guards or protection, you're probably not in the right area. And remember, as the better the neighborhood gets, the more options there are. First-time home buyers, perfect for a landlord that wants to rent it out to someone that's looking to buy into that area. They just want to rent first. It gives you options. So I've done them all. So I remember sitting down with my wife and she's like, would you go there at night by yourself? And like, I'm a pretty big guy, and the answer is a hard no. And so you need to understand what your risk. So when we talk about financial risk and everything, we also have to talk about the physical risk of the types of neighborhoods and properties you pick out. Nobody's life's worth like wholesaling or real estate investing. So always put your safety and priority number one.
Yeah, but guys, we're just trying to scare you not to go in high crime neighborhoods, because I see a lot of whole like, I'm just going to the roughest neighborhoods, and that's where all the stress is. And it's a rude awakening. And let me just tell you the truth. So go after starter homes. Why am I telling you? We have found, for being landlords, I have found from flipping properties, that type of 3 is the best one. So what's 4? 4 is kind of like, I call it a little better, upper middle class, more or less. These are the nicer homes, the newer homes, and then 5's like ultra luxury.
Yeah.
I've seen this. So statistically, there are like 4 or 5 huge hedge funds that have bought, I think, at least 40% of all the landlord deals this past year or two. In Texas, Florida, like all of the Southeast, Michigan, other places. Those hedge funds, I've listened to a lot of podcasts from the big guys from there, all these things. Invitation Homes is another huge one, right? And I think the CEO, they're trying to go public. He basically stated that, like, hey, we try to buy houses in the hood. We try to buy houses in very nice places, like brand new, like they call them build to rent, where they'll build it and then rent it out. And they've done it all. What they have statistically found for their best ROI on a large scale, they buy starter homes. And unfortunately, people are upset because they're trying to buy these starter homes, but those are the ones that go up most in value. And so go after properties that are low price with low crime. How do I find this? That's the big thing, guys. You can actually look up crime statistics, and you can actually look at data sets and see areas of exactly how crime is per area and in zip code. All you have to do is basically just contact your local police or your local sheriff's office. Don't call 911. Don't do that. But call the non-emergency line, or just call there's lines everywhere that's just like for information, and just ask, hey, can I get a map of 2022, which is basically last year, or 2023 or 2024, whatever you're watching this video, and just ask it, hey, can I get a map of the last year's all the crimes by zip code? That's it.
It's all statistical information.
And they're going to be like, well, it's not like a government list, like, oh, why are you getting this information? No, they're going to say, and they're going to be like, oh, it's just a concerned citizen that wants to know what areas are safe or not. And the sheriff's office is happy to give you that information. And they have the statistics because the sheriff's office needs to know where to have patrols, right? Like they need to know. So they'll gladly give you that information, and you get that information. And then what I want you to do is figure out what the median home price is per zip code, and then stack the two on top of each other and see which ones have the lowest price with the lowest crime. And that's it. Now, one thing I want everybody to understand when you're doing this statistical analysis, if you have a zip code that has 1,000 people and you see there's 100 crimes committed there, and then you see a zip code that has 5,000 people and there's 100 crimes committed there, understand that you need to make a ratio. The one that has a higher population with the same crime means there's less crime per person. And so that's just find out what the crime per person is per zip code, and then you can find the best areas. This is secret information. I haven't heard one guru talk about it.
Yeah, and one other
Not
way.
one.
So like
Your cash buyers know this.
I'm just going to be brutally honest. I personally wouldn't go through that much effort because I'd rather you guys focus on your marketing.
Yeah.
Here's a little trick. Now, I don't keep up with this, and I have no affiliation with this company. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of it, but it is a useful tool. Trulia.com used to be able to stick the address.
They don't
in
have
it.
that
They don't
anymore.
have it anymore. They
No.
used to have a crime button.
That's why,
and it would
that's why I mentioned it. So Zillow bought Trilio and then took that off. So that's why I told you guys out here to go.
Crazy.
No, I know.
Ah.
And so he tried. There used to be a thing on Trulia that used to be able to find the crime maps for you just automatically.
You put the address in, and it'll tell you exactly the percentage
I
and
know.
how bad the crimes are. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, out. And
So Zillow bought it and they took that off, probably for cost. So that's why I tell everybody to go to the sheriff's office.
Okay.
It'll take a weekend. Just message them out there and do it. Because it's actually a big advantage because that means your competition can't do this and it'll help you figure it out. Here's the truth. How do we know where the crimes are in our area? First of all, I grew up in this area. And secondly, I know what areas my houses get broken into. I know what areas they don't.
So this
Yeah.
applies more to virtually because the guys in your local market, like you don't need a statistic
No.
thing to tell you. So in virtual, sometimes you walk in the markets because you just based it on price and population. You didn't understand it was like a high crime neighborhood. So I think that's a good tool. Things change, especially if you're going virtual. You have to consider the crime because crime's going to have effect on how you operate everything.
Yeah. And so you might be like, oh my gosh, this is so cheap. This is a great deal.
Yeah.
Someone went up to me and they're like, Zach, I got a deal for $20,000 and you're going to be a great buyer for this. I said, oh, my market? Yeah. I'm like, okay, let's look it up. And I'm like, I looked at it. I'm like, no, I'm good. There was 4 homicides there like last month. It was a very bad area. But he thought just because it was so cheap and the pictures looked okay, it was not okay. Okay. So guys, where do you go find good deals? Use that. On top of that, too, ask your cash buyers where they want to buy.
Yeah, they'll tell you where so they'll always tell you where they don't want to buy first. So that's part of gathering that intel. Guys, I've bought a lot of properties in neighborhoods that it looked really good on paper. And then I got it. I'm like, oh my God. So here's the thing is you can always fix the property, but the neighborhood is the neighborhood unless you're going to buy
you can't fix the
entire
neighborhood
block. So here's a little secret I learned the hard way is when you buy like these cheap properties, or maybe you're in question, go, Rick, it's such a good deal. Go in the property appraiser site and look at the sales history. If you see that property's changed hands 10, 20, 30 times, and you see a bunch of foreclosures, you see where the bank took it back, it's called a history, and you are doomed to repeat it. I tried so hard, guys. I bought a 6-plex in a rough neighborhood, put all the money, rehabbed it for 6 months. The whole thing got burnt down. And I just got back in line and I learned I could change the property. I can't change the neighborhood. If you apply like a fix and flip mentality, you will get killed on these properties. So if you see like 20 or 30 transactions on the property the last few years, it just means you're going to be next on that list.
Exactly. So let's get into where to find the deal. We talked about that. So let's get into how to find the deal, right? It's kind of easy to know where to go, but the execution of how to do it. So I want to give everybody a game plan on this too. But let's just break down how to find the deal first, right? And so to find the deal, I need you guys to go out here and flip the switch. All right. I need everybody watching this to go out here and flip the switch. What do I mean by flip the switch? By flipping the switch out here, you're going to go out here and change the way you've been looking at wholesaling real estate, right? You're going to change the way that you are looking at getting your deal. And what do I mean by this? Most wholesalers, when they try to get the first real estate wholesaling deal, all they focus on is that deal. They write it up. They dream about it. First deal, first deal, first deal. I'm going to hope and pray. I'm going to manifest this deal. No. You don't manifest the deal. You got to go work for it, right? I can't go manifest abs while eating a donut, all right? Or eating an entire pizza, right? Or a gallon of ice cream.
With the food thing, man. I'm starving.
But you can't manifest it by doing that, right? You can't manifest. You have to manifest by actually doing it. I can't sit on the dock just by myself and manifest me catching a fish.
You can't go through the matrix on a Zoom call and figure out how to
No,
flip a property.
You can't schedule a call and get a deal, right? You can't sit on a dock and imagine that you're going to go catch this big fish. You have to actually go do it, right? I think a lot of people have this manifesting Affirmations are great and all, but like there's time just to do it, right? And so a lot of it is mental, like I've said, but you have to actually focus on the results and the action. So to get the result you want, you got to do the action you want. So stop focusing about getting the deal. Focus about how many X amount of contacts you need for a deal. Because if you stop focusing, one deal. No, start manifesting this. 500 drawing for dollars leads, 500 drawing for dollars leads, 500 drawing for dollars leads. It's not as sexy, but I promise you, the person that focuses on 500 drawing for dollars leads will probably get there.
They'll get past it.
The person that's focusing just on this kind of ambiguous fugazi type thing, it's like, okay, I know to get the first deal, but it's like, what do I do? And then you start trying all these things. It's like, no. Just laser focus, tunnel vision on that one thing, and you'll get it, right? And so I want everybody to understand that you got to flip the switch. Now, next part here is a new concept. It's not really a new concept. It's something I've subconsciously been doing forever. You have too, for most wholesalers. But to get your first real estate wholesaling deal, I've statistically found that over 80% of all wholesalers have gotten their first deal and sold their first deal by the rule of 3. It's a shocking revelation, but it's true. I've talked about this before, but I haven't called it the rule of 3 before. I just said this is a shocking secret, right? There is a wholesaling rule of 3, which basically means there are rules out here in real estate where if you focus just on 3 things for one subject, you'll become successful with it. And I found this on there's 3 things in marketing, 3 things on cash buyers, 3 things on acquisitions that all come down to getting your first real estate wholesaling deal. That is it. It's really not as complicated as it seems. And so what I want to do is just share it for the marketing side real quick, right? So in lists, there's 3 lists. Most wholesalers get their first deal off of only 3 lists. Only 3.
Shocking.
And so if we found out 80% of wholesalers get their first deal from just 3 lists, you should probably try that, right?
Probably do it.
If most people are becoming successful by doing this, you should probably do that, right? Don't try to reinvent the wheel here. And let's break it down. So where are the 3 lists, right? Number 1, government lists. Guys, I've screamed about this forever from the rooftops. Okay. Your first deal, get it from a government list. Here's your list you get from the government for free. The Matrix doesn't want to let you know that, but it's true. These are code violations, water shutoffs, fire damaged properties, tax liens, tax delinquencies. There's also evictions lists. There's bail bondsman lists. There's a million type of lists out here, arrest records that you can go actually out here and start getting lists from the government absolutely for free. And they're all one-stop shop. If you're in City Hall, a lot of them are all kind of there. It's sometimes a little difficult to get these lists, but the truth is because it's difficult because number 1, they don't want to give the list because no one has ever gone to some of these government agencies. No one's ever asked them for that list, which means there's not a lot of competition. So when I get my raffs out here saying, oh, wholesaling's so saturated. Every time I call somebody, they say I'm the 4th caller. I got 3 DMs yesterday. It's so hard out here to wholesale. As I'm collecting, you saw in the mailbox, 2 more checks came in. Like as we're just collecting checks here and there, like all the time in our mailbox, I get people, it's just so hard. No, it's because you're not doing the hard things to become successful. Guys, it has always been hard to do hard work. It's always been difficult. It's always been difficult to go do the things you have to do every single day. It's never been easy, but it's always been worth it. And so if you want to go do the lists that are hard to pull, but they're easy to wholesale, that's what you have to do. So I want everybody do the thing that's hard in the beginning and then easy at the end. Here's a quick story of me as a kid. And you can vouch for this. This is true.
Okay.
When I was like 6 or 7 years old, you used to make steak on Sundays, right? And we still do sometimes too, steak right? Sunday. Like we'll have dinner together as a family. I'll come over, we'll have nice steak and stuff. But like what I used to do is used to make steak when I was like 7 or 8, and it was steak, broccoli, and mashed potatoes, or like peas. I subconsciously, because I'm a crazy kid, you know what I did?
No.
I would eat the peas first because I hated the vegetables, and then I'd eat the steak and potatoes. I did the thing that I didn't want to do starting out, and then I actually went out here and had the good thing. My sister, on the other hand, she would eat the steak and the potatoes, and then she'd be left with the vegetables.
That's what I did.
And then you'd be like, you got to eat your vegetables. And I already did it. subconsciously as a kid, I always did the things that were difficult starting out, so I didn't have to deal with them anymore.
No.
And so this is why, even though during my week, when I have to go through something really difficult, like a lot of work, I get all the work done on a Monday. Like all the things that suck, I do it all on a Monday. All of them on a Monday. See, I can't do that anymore. But I used to do that. Like all the hard work on a Monday, like for school, I did all the essays and stupid stuff first, so I could just relax after. And so in wholesaling, it's kind of the same thing. Getting the lists that are difficult, do all the hard stuff first. And then when you wholesale cold call, it's so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, government lists are absolutely powerful because they're free. No other wholesalers are really pulling them too much. And there's always another stone to unturned with the government list. There's always another type of government list. And I've never had somebody on a live that says, Zach, I've cold called. Actually, no, I have, but on another, I've had people say, Zach, I've cold called every government list. And I say, you do tax delinquencies? He says, no. Okay, next. I did every list. Yeah, I did tax delinquencies. Did you do the arrest records? No. I've never found somebody that does every single government list every single month because there's too many.
Guys, there's plenty of lists out there, but like I will tell you, like when we do the one-on-ones, I'll talk to anybody, I'll help anybody out, but you can either complain or you can find a solution. And if you don't think me and Zach run against obstacles against the list all the time, we do.
That's the point.
Find a way to get through it, go around it, and get the list. You're dealing with people. That's all you're dealing with. So if we're dealing with motivated sellers, it should be substantially easier to use your rapport building skills to deal with these people. I'm asking you to do what nobody else wants to do. You're going to do the hard stuff. Let them do the easy stuff. Let them get their 9 to 5 and celebrate on Friday night. If you want to break from that, you're going to have to do the stuff that most people won't tolerate. And by the way, thank you for the saving me some money on the therapy session today. I'm sure some more. I'm waiting for him to come out with a tell-all book about dad because
no, but here's the thing. I always did was difficult starting out as a kid. It's just mentally what I was, but I'm not calling myself tough or anything, but that's what I did. And I kind of did that in my wholesaling business and it showed a lot of great results. So government lists, go to freewholesaling.com. That's how you pull them. Freewholesaling.com. Now, next one is drawing for dollars and reverse drawing for dollars. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
You just go in your car, look for ugly houses.
Don't need a course for this one, guys.
Well, reverse drawing for dollars, maybe. Just got to know what to say. So I put in the sticky notes, hey, my name is Zach. I had a quick question about your property. Please give me a call back. Freewholesaling.com. Show you exactly how to do that. Now, the last one is kind of a cheat, but it's true. The other ones are just paid lists, right?
Ooh.
And so these are lists you have to pay for. So how do I pay for a list, right? There's services out here where you can pay for data. ListRI.com, which is PropStream, or like ZachData.com. You can also use DMZach.com for drawing for dollars, and they also have some data on there. Now, why do I say paid lists, right? Oh, I heard the software is free and it pulls the probates for me. Guys, for years I've had this. I can pull this list for free with this free software. Let me tell you the truth. When you have a service that gives you a vacant, possibly pre-foreclosures, all this data, it costs millions of dollars every single year to get that data. It costs millions of dollars every single year, and it costs close to $1 million, not $1 million a month, but very close to that to actually get the best quality data. Because you can pull pre-foreclosures the cheap way, or you can pull it the expensive and hard way. You can pull the vacant data the easy way, or the cheap way, or the expensive way. As somebody that looked into making a wholesaling software like a couple of years, just researching it and talking to the guys that make millions doing it, I realized how expensive data was. All right. And there are people out here that do free softwares for wholesaling. And what they do is they skimp out on the high quality data just to get it. Right. And so this is like, it's like saying, I worked out my biceps for an hour. Mm-hmm. Right. Here's the problem. Yeah. You worked out your biceps for an hour, but you did 2 curls and you were on your phone the entire time. It's like you did it, but you didn't do it well. Right. It's always best to do the thing the best way possible. So when I have a service that has free probates, guys, I see it. It's trash. I actually pull the legit probate list and compare it. Trash. I pull vacant data from PropStream and Batch Leads and I compare it to other vacant data. Trash, because I know they skimped. And I call it pay list because you got to pay for it. Because they have to spend millions of dollars getting the good data. They're going to want money for it, right? I'm an advocate for free wholesaling information. But for marketing, You can do it for free, but I'm also a big fan of paying for it, right?
Oh, we've created this internal web because me and Zach are the only guys in wholesaling, and tell me otherwise, that give 100% free content. I mean, I literally never done a paid ad. I've never asked for referrals. There's no like call to qualify. It's 100% free. So now we're talking about free data. What you got to understand with data is I've tried so many data services. If data is free, they're going to get delivered in the cheapest format possible because there is no choice. I only use data sources that are reliable, that have proven to my business, and people all over the country that go, hey, this is rock solid. It works. Because think about this. Say I'm just going to do a cold calling and say you pull a 2,500 list. You got to skip trace them. You got to pay for that. And then what's even more important is your time. You spend, I don't know, 20, 30 hours cold and you don't get anything out of it. And you go, well, the list was free. I go, dude.
Or it was really cheap. Like it was a 3-cent Fiverr list.
Yeah.
No, it looks like when I did 10,000 leads, I saved $1,000 because I didn't spend 13 cents for skip tracing. I spent 3 cents. But really, you wasted that $200-300 and all of your time because now you have to re-skip trace the list because the data was trash.
Yeah. And so there's so many variables that go in the data. I'm an expert at looking at data. When it comes to pulling data, I'm not going to tell you an expert on it. I will tell you this, though. There is a tremendous difference. So for the longest time before I used PropStream or Batch, I would double test them against my list source. Why? Because I didn't trust them. And it took me years to build that trust level, and the point where I was doing it, it got endorsed all over the country. Everybody, so I knew it worked and it was more cost effective. List source, I used to pay 20 to 25 cents a lead, guys. Yeah. And you don't understand what an opportunity.
How mad were you when I said we're doing this direct mail campaign on PropStream? You were so mad at me.
I didn't want to do it.
You were so upset. We dropped like $7,000 on a PropStream list.
Yeah.
And I was like, I keep seeing so many people, let's try it out. Because it had lists that List Source never had.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we got to try this. And you're like, nah. And you know what? We tried it. We got, I think, 3 deals from that.
Yeah.
We made like, I think $70K. And you're like, I'm hooked, right? And I started cold calling. And the only reason you allowed me to was because I did like 2 SMS deals off that same PropStream list. You're like, okay, if Zach could do it, fine, right? Guys, I haven't found one free service that works very well on a mass scale. Let me give you a truth. TruePeopleSearch.com. It's a free skip tracing software. When you have no money and you have to skip trace, it's the best one.
That's it.
But if I had 15,000 leads and I was going to use TruePeopleSearch.com, my results would not be as good as if I paid for it. And the difference between saving $1,000 on skip tracing is the difference between me doing an extra $75,000 this month or not. And my opinion, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Guys, one deal. If you skimp on data, you're going to lose one deal. That deal can be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. So yes, wholesaling information should be free. But when you're going actually out here using a free service, they're going to want to put you on a list to sell you on their $15,000 mastermind program.
They got so many other products coming around the corner. And so you just got to understand going at data is really important. And then the other thing is like old data, they sell secondhand on the market. It's dirt cheap. How do you know where you're getting that data? Use this analogy. If someone off the street offered you a 5-gallon tank, he's holding a tank and go, hey, Rick, I have 5 gallons of free gas here. You can't see it, can't smell it. Can I just pour it in your tank? Say yes or no. What happens if he's pouring pure water into your tank? What's going to happen? What is the catastrophic event?
Or maybe it's diluted 50-50, half water, half gas.
You're going to spend a lot of time in repairs. You're going to have to get it towed. You're going to have to get the engine rebuilt. And was it really worth that free gas? You would have been better off paying the $20-30 to put that in there. And I'm telling you guys, you have to know what's going in your tank if you're going to take it, because the amount of energy you're going to send skip tracing and the time, if that list is bad, forget the time and the money lost. You're going to be so discouraged. Most people wind up quitting it. I get it. People are trying to gain market share and all that stuff, and I'm fine with it. But like, it's never going to be free for long. And if the information is not validated, where you see thousands and thousands of people going, man, I'm getting good deals from this, be very wary. I'm telling, I've never, ever, any free data I've gotten, other than going with the government list, which is the direct source, and that's why it's okay, but you got to go through the
It's
shenanigans.
a direct
okay?
source.
It's a direct source. So whenever I've gotten a third-party list or something like that, 9 times out of 10, it's extremely disappointing.
Exactly. Driving for dollars, direct source, ugly house, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I say I just people. So I've seen people create free softwares, and they say we're going to do it for free for a limited time, and then we're going to gain market share, and then we're going to screw people over.
So annoying.
I've seen coaches do free coaching for like 4 months to gain the audience, and then they boom, everything's paid now. And so I know it's around the corner. I can see it, guys. I got tunnel vision. You guys seen me for almost 3 years on this channel. We're you know, gurus have actually said this to my face. I know what you're doing, Zach. You're going to gain this audience. You're going to gain hundreds of thousands of people, and then you're going to hit them with the course. Guys, we're 3 years in.
Now, where's the course?
When's the course coming out? The pay, right, guys? It's not there. And so paid list. So the question is, should I pay for a list? Should I not pay for a list? I'm so confused. Here's the thing. I did this in order on purpose. Pull as many government lists as you can, and then do as many drawing for dollars leads. When you exhaust all options and you want to scale up even more because it takes too much time to pull these lists, pay for a list. That is what it is. All right. Oh, but I got $4,000. No, do government lists. All right. So let's talk about the marketing channel. So rule of threes, we're going to talk about the big 3 marketing channels. Pretty simple, but this is it. Cold calling, reverse drawing for dollars, just technically a sticky note, and then SMS text blasting.
Simple.
Wait, reverse drive? Yeah, you can reverse drive for dollars. Let's say let's say a code violation list. You get a list of code violations. You don't have to pay for skip tracing. You just go to that house and slap a sticky note on there. DMZach.com actually has, you can put the addresses in and it'll give you a route. Pretty cool, right? Cold calling, you can do that in SMS. I have found if you go outside of this, especially trying to get your first deal, it's not worth it, right? I'm a big fan of direct mail. I actually get most of my deals from direct mail. Well, outside of JV deals now, but we love it. But for a beginner, it's like, it's probably not the best, right? And so focus on the 3, 80% from there.
Did you know most gurus, their primary way of teaching most of you guys to do deals is direct mail. So you're going to walk in, you're going to pay, say, a $5,000, $7,000 course. Then they're going to tell you to commit $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and you have no experience talking to yourself. This is why we avoid it. We love direct mail. We know it works. It's not for the faint of heart and the beginner. So if you learn the skill sets on how to talk to people and how to get a great wholesaling deal, and you get some money in your bank account, then you can graduate over to like direct mail. But like in the beginning, like most of you are struggling, and I get it. We're trying to give you the fastest way to get your first deal. And remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
If you want to sprint, go to a paid guru, because they've got 5 other courses they're going to tell you need to take after you paid that first one.
Exactly. And next is, I don't care what your guru said. And I say this very, very nicely. I get asked, but my guru said, I don't care what your guru say. Let me tell you the truth. If you want to get your first deal under 2 weeks, you got no money or not much money, your guru does not care about you. They only care about the money you have in your pocket. They're like Las Vegas. Las Vegas only cares about one thing: separating you from your money. That's all they want. They legit don't care. They might care if you feel good being there because they want you to come back, but they don't care. Why does everybody who leaves Las Vegas pretty much feel sad and angry and probably a little sick and hungover?
Yeah.
Because Las Vegas used you and now you're done, and they want you out and they want the new people back in. That's what gurus care about. And so if you have no money, Las Vegas doesn't really care about you. They don't care about the gurus. Don't care about you.
What do they say? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
I guess so.
What happens with your guru stays with you and your guru. Like launching on us what your guru told you to do. Like the reality is you're probably watching our channel because your guru never delivered. And I'm okay with that. I'll help you out. But like when you come on, my guru said, leave it at the door, dude, because I'm going to give you the truth. Your guru had to separate you from your money. And then they had to get through the 30-day waiting grace period on the credit card. And then eventually they might tell you the truth a few months down the road, but you won't have a deal. So pick which journey you want to do. I don't care. I'm going to give you the straightest path to get this done.
Exactly. And so I'm just letting everybody know, I don't care what your guru says, because your guru just wants your money. And I've never seen a guru try to legitimately give you advice and not want something from it. No, it's, that's a good question. If you join our mentorship, we'll let you know. Like it's all this stuff. So guys, I don't care what your guru has to say. I get this in the comments, but my guru said, I don't care what your guru said. Your guru, but my guru said I should do TV ads. Your guru said you should do TV ads because he has a course to sell you on TV ads. Your guru said he should do this because he wants you to make money off of this. Guys, I make no money off of you pulling a government list and getting your first deal. I make no money. I make no money. You know why? I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to help you out. And so just
guys, I've done every TV ad in the world. I have a lot of experience. It just does not have a good ROI. And it's extremely inconsistent. It's all over the board and it's extremely expensive. And I'm just telling you, you'll never, ever hear me talk about it. Some people have some little bit of success with radio, but once again, that's kind of hit or miss. And you almost have to understand that entire media industry to even understand if you're going to get a good ROI. But TVs, that's why when you see like the local guy and occasionally he puts a TV ad, you'll see it run for 2 or 3 weeks and then they run out of money every time. And if it was so good, we'd all be hammering the TVs. So take note, like there's subtle clues that make it really simple for you.
Every single time I get a comment says, Zach, you know what you're talking about. Facebook ads are the best. Guess what? I click on their profile and guess what it is? Facebook ad course. Because you are trying to sell Facebook ads to people. That's why you're promoting it. Why do I promote government leads? Do I have a government lead course? No, I'm here to help you out. So guys, there's a matrix out here and we are revealing it to you and how to break free. So let's go to the rule of threes with cash buyers. There are 3 main ways to find cash buyers. Only 3?
3?
Yeah. Cold call the for rents. Those are where the landlords are. Cold call cash sales. People that are buying houses for cash. Flippers tab on PropStream, right? All these things. And then lastly, go to local property auctions. That's where they're all hanging out, right? There's realtors, but honestly, when you do cash sales, you can see the realtor representing it. So it's technically in there. A little cheating, but like, focus on 3. 3, 3, 3. Let's talk about acquisitions. To close a deal, focus on 3 things. MCTP, starting out, right? Condition the seller, or they make a yes or no decision, more at wholesaling.com, and then close. I mean, that's all you really, and there's stuff in between that, but like you want to focus on 3 things on getting a deal closed. MCTP, condition the seller, make sure they're ready to make a decision, then close them, right? Guys, it's a 3-3-3 approach. Guys, heck, even when I train my acquisitions people, I do a 3-3-3 approach. I close 3 appointments in front of them. They close 3 with me, and then I see them close 3, and then boom, they're ready to go. Guys, there's a rule of 3s in real estate wholesaling, and it absolutely works. So I want everybody to understand this. Focus on just 3 things at a time. That's pretty much all my brain can handle sometimes. But like, just do it, right? So if you want an action plan right now, focus on 3. So which 3 are you going to focus on? Focus on the lists and then focus on the marketing channels. And so starting out, you want an action plan. I would recommend for everybody to go pull 3 government lists. Start out, pull 3 government lists and then get at least 3 contacts a day. That's hellos. Let's just focus on that starting out, ramp it up a little more and get your first deal. That is my action plan. It's going to be a 3-3-3 approach. Pull 3 government lists. Make sure you spend at least, do 3 government lists for the past month. And then I want you to get 3 contacts a day and hopefully make 1 offer a day. I always say this, 1 offer a day keeps the guru away, but that's it in wholesaling, right? It's not that complicated. I think a lot of wholesalers complicate this, but like focus on 3.
It's just, you have to take the action. So the government lists are usually the most direct path to get your first deal. And remember, some of you that are light on money, that's okay, because if you can learn the skill set of how to talk to people and learn how to build a rapport and do the whole MCTP that we teach over freewholesaling.com, you're going to be a better wholesaler in the long run, as opposed to someone paying a guru. They teach them direct mail. They spend $5,000 up front, $15,000 on mail. Hey, I just got a deal. I made 10 grand. As soon as that guru leaves, the confidence is going to be out the window. They're never going to figure it out. So
it's powerful.
It's powerful, guys. I'm just telling you, one of the biggest secrets I learned in wholesaling is your ability to talk to people. So number 1, you have to do it. How do you do it? You got to get the list. And because you lack experience, there's 2 ways to make it up, and there's only 2, and there's no way around it. Number 1, you have to have an incredible amount of enthusiasm. I can't tell you how many people me and Zach bring into our business or people we partner up with, if you got the right attitude and you're willing to go through a brick wall, we'll take a chance on you. If your attitude sucks and you keep guessing everything, I don't want to work with you because I can't fix your attitude. No matter what line of work, anything you do, if you have a poor attitude, there's nothing you can say or do to change people. And a lot of you try to incentivize those people. It's even worse. The second way to fix this is massive amounts of quantity. That's why we're talking about government lists. Because guess what? The more people you call, talk to, or meet with, the more experiences you get, it's going to turn into wisdom. It's going to turn into deals. But so many people want to just skip the list. And when you do sometimes get a lead that lands on your lap and you go, I don't know how to talk to them. It's because you did not take the steps we told you to do. I want you to talk to thousands of people. That's the secret in wholesaling no one will ever share with you. The more people who talk with you, the better you get. And you got to force yourself to get better because eventually you have to get a deal to prove your theory of wholesaling. And that's how you get a contract. You get paid. You have to have the confidence before you get that first contract. And really, that's the hardest part of wholesaling. The best way to do it is a massive amount of quantity and an extreme enthusiasm. If you can bring those two things, anyone can be successful in wholesaling. Here's the reality. Few will do it.
Exactly.
It's the truth, guys. That's why you have reverse marketing from gurus telling you, hey, everybody wins. Did you notice you only get testimonial of winners? What you have to understand, the average guru, they could take thousands of people and have 10, 15, or maybe just 100 successes. Guys, that's over a 90% failure ratio.
Crazy.
And you have to understand that going into this.
Yeah. And so, guys, that is it. 3-3-3 approach. They say the greatest things in life come in threes. And it's absolutely true. So, guys, that's what we're talking about today. That's how you get your first deal in under 2 weeks. Guys, if you want to learn exactly how to get your first deal, kind of get some knowledge of everything there too, just go to our free wholesaling course. You don't have to, there's no way to get money. We don't, there's no way to give a credit card. It's just free. You click it, you're there.
No credit card slot,
no credit card, nothing. All you got to do is just create a login account so you can track your own progress. And you're good to go. So, guys, go to freewholesaling.com to learn wholesaling real estate for free. And what we want to do right now is answer some questions and help you become the best wholesaler you possibly can be. So let's get into it. Let's share it. And let's talk exactly how you can be a successful wholesaler in this business. So let's answer a quick question here. Let's see what we got here. Getting a lot of threes in the chat. I love it. It's going to be a replay. Yeah, just go to Flip with Rick on YouTube and it'll be all in there. Let's see here. You guys peeled the layers off. Appreciate it. Some gurus told me I need brass balls to sell real estate. I mean, only half of the world has that. So that's kind of stupid to say, right? Like,
guys, we don't really sell real estate. That's realtor land. You don't sell real estate in wholesaling. So that is the wrong terminology and that is the wrong course of trajectory. Wholesaling is truly an art very, very few people have mastered in this world. And when you master it, you can use it towards anything in life. It is the ability to get stuff at deep contracts with little to none of your own money and make a large profit with minimal risk and do it over and over again.
Exactly. And so I tell everybody in wholesaling, if you want to become successful, just start doing the little things every single day. And they always add up. Yeah. Right. And so Andrew says, direct mail or email blast more effective? Direct mail is way more effective. It will always be more effective, hands down.
Email blast, like I'm here to tell you, dude. Like between Google and everything, they pretty much almost filter your emails. So like the blast, they get tagged real quick. And the reality is, it just emails. It's becoming harder and harder because it's gotten so spammy. It's crazy. Exactly.
Also, on top of this, I feel like I'm getting trolled here, but it's like, which site? You see the site scrolling on the bottom. I'm saying this nicely. If you can't listen to me say, go to freewholesaling.com and it's scrolling on the bottom, you probably don't have the wherewithal to go find out how to sign a contract or how to talk to a title company. If you can't figure that out, it's going to be very hard to figure other things out. So
it's right there on the bottom.
I did be careful on that one. But what I want to do right now is do some one-on-ones and talk to the people, see how I can help the people become successful and see how I can help everybody, get their first deal. So sometimes do one-on-ones. because some people need some one-on-one help, and I don't charge for it, right? It's all free, and it's all pretty cool. So let's hop on there. It's always harder to get the one-on-ones. We're approaching 90,000 members in our Facebook group, which
90,000. That's pretty cool.
is insane. So it's a little more difficult to get on the one-on-ones, but we get as many as we can. And so you click the StreamYard link right here. You can hop on. It's on the pinned, and you get to talk to us for free. Absolutely. So let me go here and just I'll put the link to the Facebook group out. And if the link doesn't work for you, that probably means you're banned from the group because you are trying to sell coaching, and we kicked you out. So kind of funny, but absolutely true. So let's hop everyone on here and let's get it. So first off, we got Irina. What is up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
Doing all right. How are you guys doing?
I'm blessed. What's
Fabulous.
Good,
up? How can I help you out?
Well, I love the topic. It's like perfect timing. And so I'm also like on a 2-week sprint. I'm 37 weeks pregnant right now, and I'm trying to get my first deal before the baby comes.
Congrats. That's where you get little ones like this.
Yeah. So, well, I like that you guys give the free approach, but given, time is of the essence, and I can't be wobbling around on snowy streets, like doing reverse driving for dollars and sticky notes, what would be the best like blueprint action plan for me where, say, I have, up to 5,000 that I can invest capital wise, so that, I could really kind of get a turbo boost on this. And, I don't mind doing the work. It's just, I got to make sure that it's safe for me and all of that.
This is pretty simple. What area are you in?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. So are you doing virtual or are you doing in person?
I'm in person. So,
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's another question. Like I know you guys do videos on virtual, but is it just a limiting mindset for me or belief that I should start locally first so that, I kind of get some wins under my belt before I go virtual?
Denver's a difficult market because it's so expensive, but there are areas that are okay. Like, are you in Denver, or are you kind of like in a suburb that's a little cheaper?
I'm in Parker. So it's, it's similar pricing. Like, you can get a shack for 400 grand. So there are other counties like, an hour and a half or so away from me that are closer to, that fit the criteria for wholesaling that you guys said, where it's like, 100,000-ish people population per city plus, an average of, home price of 400,000.
Yeah, you're in a tougher one. So I like a 50-50 approach with things like this because real estate is really expensive where you're at, where you spend 50% of your time doing local wholesaling, 50% doing virtual wholesaling, and see which one's giving you better results. So I'd probably do that. Now, on top of that, you can't be going out, doing reverse trying for dollars, things like that, obviously. Keep it safe. I would probably say your best 2 bets are going to be cold calling, SMS text blasting, and possibly probate mailers. Those are probably going to be the 3 things we're doing threes today. So probate mailers, SMS, and cold calling. That's probably going to be the best one for you. And you can pull government lists from your computer. So I think you should be fine there.
Okay. But given the time crunch there, like I'm okay paying for a list. So if I'm paying for lists, say via PropStream, which ones would you recommend?
I would probably recommend stacked lists starting out, right? And so I would probably focus. First of all, probates should be a priority for you. I don't care how long it takes. That's the best bang for your buck. Like time, if you're going to cold call for an hour, you have to do probates because it might take you 4 or 5 hours to get the same amount of deals as a vacant list. So number one's going to be probates, hands down, no matter what. Number 2, I'm probably going to say tax delinquencies. Then 3, I would probably do vacant high equity. And then on top of that, I would probably have high equity stacked with something else, whatever one you want. Tax delinquency, high equity with a lien, anything like that. That's probably going to be the approaches I should say. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, and the biggest portion of your budget's going to be skip tracing is a big bulk of it. And that's where you need to account for it, because the good thing about skip tracing is once you get the phone number, you only got to pay for it once. That's the good news. The bad news with SMS, it's just getting very constricted in like how these people, how we deliver the messages, and the carriers are getting really cute on like how to filter them.
Yeah.
As far as the local versus virtual market, I tell everyone always be active in your local market, because especially if you were like born and raised there, or like you have a family history, values, like you don't have to learn that part of it. So just by talking to people, like you can get good deals. Now they're going to come, they're not going to come like 2 or 3 every month. But listen, if you picked up 1 or 2 deals in your immediate area in a 1-year period, it would be amazing. And I'm telling you, I do that all the time in like very, very high-end communities that I'm involved in. And then the virtual, you can pick your market. That's the beauty of it. You can pick the exact place you want, pick the area. The downside is you're not familiar with it. So there is a learning curve with it. So he is right in blending the both, and then finding out which passion is. Some people are really built for virtual marketing. Some people never leave their office or their home. And knowing that you're getting ready to have a baby, and knowing some of the constraints of having a baby, because I've had a few, not me, my wife, but you've got to pick the right one that's going to make sense for you, because I know listen, I can't describe how being pregnant is, because I've never been, but that's hard. But like young babies, they're hard. They're demanding,
Right.
they like, it's hard because they're going to take, all babies are different, but they get into a pattern, like sleep patterns and eating patterns. And the reality is that's going to be your primary focus. I'm not here to like tell you different. You can do both. It would be an incredible task for you to do them. So I would do the split approach. Most of your money is going to go to skip tracing the phone numbers. And then it would be dynamite if you could have somebody help you, either like do appointments, or someone that you could trust to help do some of the basics things, maybe pictures or something like that. And the definition of a virtual market is really anything outside of like a 70-mile radius, because that's a long drive after that. But like sometimes even going like 100, 150 miles, if you had to send somebody out there, you still had that option to do it. When you pick virtual and you jump to another state, your options come a little bit more limited. So make sure you design wholesaling that fits your lifestyle. And I want you to understand, I'm all about like you getting a head start, but I'm more interested in your long-term projection, because anybody can run super fast and get something done. Dude, the marathon guy or gal, they have to just keep on that sprint and they don't stop. That's the difference between me and most people that do wholesaling. Most coaches and gurus are sprinters. Let me sell you a course. Let me try to give you a little bit of hope and move on. I'm here to tell you, you got it. You have a child. So one day they're going to be in their 20s, just like this one. And you want to build a lifestyle, and you want to show them the values to get them free, so they don't have to go through some of the mishaps that we grew up and that our parents grew up. The idea is to hand off each generation better and better. So you're going to have to like really formulate what's going to be best for you and your family, because I can tell you, having a baby, it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and that's got to be your primary focus. So active in your local market, and I'd start picking out a virtual market. How far you want it away, that's going to have to be a decision you'll have to make.
Right. Yeah. And this wouldn't be my first one. And that's why I'm trying to like.
Okay. Well, the second one, you just like throw in a bag and go. But I'm just kidding on that. But don't take me literally on a quote on that. But it's sometimes the first one, like, I'm like, listen, you better slow it up, because it's they don't give you an owner's manual with these kids.
Right.
And we all just kind of wing it. And I'm telling you, you have the incredible opportunity to start from scratch from like day one. And remember, I always tell you guys, your kids watch what you do much more than what you say. And that's probably the best parenting advice I can give you, because I've been on both sides of the coin. I'm far from a perfect father. He'll tell you I've made a lot of mistakes, but like, you just keep moving forward. So if you want to get in this business and you're excited and you're doing it to change the trajectory of your life and your families, just make sure you're making a good long-term decision, and then come up with that short-term plan to attack it.
Okay.
You got it.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Listen, yeah, if you can have a baby, you can easily do wholesaling.
Thanks.
It's true.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think that's it for now. Thank you.
All right. No
Awesome.
worries.
Okay.
Boom. So we got Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
Are you there? Hello?
I should take a bathroom break.
All right. Olivia.
Hey guys, how are you? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Oh, awesome. I'm doing good. Okay, so I have a quick question because I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. I had a guy reach out through one of my mailers. Okay, it's a probate off of a government list. His mother passed away a couple of years ago. His problem is this. He's never opened a probate before. His mother is on the deed and paperwork and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He said the house is in really bad condition. It's hoarder style. And he had somebody give him a quote. It was like for a few $1,000s. He's not sure where to start. So how would I be able to find a good probate attorney? I don't know.
So let's, which state are you in, Olivia?
I'm in Washington State, but this lead is over in Polk County, Florida.
Oh, it's in Florida.
It is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that confused me, you said it's a few $1,000s to fix a hoarder's house. That doesn't even register in my mind because
Well,
it's a few $1,000s just to paint a house.
That's what he said. He said
Yeah.
he got a quote and
Is it vacant?
He's currently living in it right now.
Okay.
He said he had a realtor come out and she gave him a list of things that he needed to do, but he's not willing to do that. Like he just wants a quick, easy
Perfect.
transaction. Yeah, and he said it's sentimental to him, obviously, you know, it's been in his family for a long time, but
Yeah.
he said if I'm willing to find somebody to do the probate, then he's ready to sign.
So let me give you your options here. So
Mhm.
by the way, this is extremely typical in probate. A lot of people avoid probate because they don't want to pay the attorney's fees. They're like, well, I want the
Right.
house, but I have control of the house. So why should I pay the attorney's fees? And they are right. But at some point to transfer that deed, they have to go through the legal process. I've had people 20, 30 years. And remember, you did your job, Olivia. You have found the motivated seller. You've done your job.
Yes.
So
I have-
your job,
right.
like that. So also, guys, I want you to understand wholesaling is just about finding, in the beginning, it's about finding the motivated seller and then getting people to help you bring that deal to the finish line while making money without
Mhm.
like giving up your life savings to a guru. So did you talk values on the house at all?
He said he wanted 170 for the property. I mean, it does come with some land, but
Yeah.
he said on the condition of the property, it may be negotiable, but he
What's
just
the,
said he's in a super stressful situation
got it.
just because.
and what do you
yeah.
calculate the ARV as? Like what's
I don't have my notes here. I believe when I looked, it was around 250-ish. I'm not sure. I gotta look at my notes again.
So here's what you have to do. The first and foremost is find out what the ARV is. I get alarmed when people tell me hoarder house because it's usually real bad. It's so
I know.
hoarder in my area.
When they admit it, it's not good.
Yeah, a hoarder in my
His
area
words, not mine.
is
He
50K.
said it's
No, they're
been
always worth
collected
buying.
for a long time.
You just have to get it. You have to get it for the right deal. Is it a regular house in like a normal neighborhood, or is it a weird like?
It's
from what you've
he
seen?
said it's a he said the town, sorry, don't mind perspective. He said the community has been growing a lot. When I looked around, it looked like a decent neighborhood. But like I said, I don't have my notes here in front of me, so I would have to dive into that more.
Here's what I do. This is what we call a pre-probate.
Mhm.
So how long ago did his mother die? Do you know?
He said 2 years ago.
Okay. So the property is going to have to go through probate. Do you know if she had a will?
From what he told me, he said she does, but right now he can't find it just based off of the condition of the property.
Okay. So
that's what
does he have
told me.
any siblings, any brothers, sisters that you're aware of?
He said most of them have passed away, but he does have a sister, I believe, in Texas. But that's all he told me.
So I'm going to give you just the simple version. I'll give you a couple steps and give you options. Number one, figure out what the ARV is and get that list like he got from the realtor. I'm a little shocked. Most realtors, when they walk into hoarder's property, they run. Like the the list would be so
It's not
long.
what they're used to.
So maybe his definition of hoarder is different from what you and me agree to. Once you do that, and just start talking numbers with them, because here's what you have to do is get a really good deal, because there's a lot of work that has to be done here. If he can't find the will and we have to get an attorney, you're happy to help facilitate the whole thing. You got to have a nice fat profit at the end of this, not a $5,000 profit. This is one where you have to make a healthy, probably at least 20 to 40K. If you can't have that kind of profit, don't do it, because there's nothing you can do. So what I do is, so say it was worth 200 and he wrote a contract for 75 for you. Let's assume it needs 30, 40 grand rehab. There's probably plenty of money to make it work. Would you agree on those numbers, right?
Yes.
So if he did that, what I would do is, from that point on, I would write a contract. I know he's not the legal owner of the property. This is a little trick I've done. Have him sign the contract. Why? I want to test his will that he's actually going to do a deal.
Okay.
I'm going to take that contract. I'm going to give it to a title company, and then I'm going to go find a probate attorney and have him review the entire case and see what we can do. Now, the typical probate with a will and a fast one is around, in today's dollars, is around $3,000.
Okay.
This one's probably going to be closer to 5 to 7, knowing that they're going to have to do a lot of announcements and hunt people down. So who's going to pay for all this? If you have a healthy profit, you could say, listen, part of the service, I'll do this, but you have to cooperate. Now, when you hire the attorney, he has to hire the attorney. You're just funding it. And if he doesn't cooperate, you're going to get killed. You have to have a complete 100% cooperation. You have to test that now. Start with the contract and the low price.
Okay.
And then if he does it, you can decide, here's a little trick I do. I said, what I'll do is I'll fund the legal fees up to this dollar amount. And then when the property closes, you have to rebate me on the HUD. What's the advantage is I'm funding your legal expenses and I'm solving it for you.
Okay. Sounds
You
great.
don't have to do it. Everything's negotiable. But this one is not going to be, without a will, it's going to take some time. And here's the problem is, I've had people, and I've done this before, and they ghost you, and you lay out like $2,000 to start off. That's risky money if he's not going to cooperate. And that's what you have to understand. He's not going to pay for it. He's already way to this point. Yeah. So what I would do is start with a contract. I would go in at like a low number, and I would get that list from the realtor and test it, because I don't want you to go through all this work and put your own money at risk if he's not going to cooperate. So you got to test. So he says he wants to sell it really bad and he's motivated, test it.
Okay.
And then if you get those terms or something like that, go over to sellmypaper.com, or you can just go over to support at Flip with Rick. And that's a deal that our company would work directly on, because we handle Florida. So it's, I know probate well, but I will tell you, it will take some time. That one's not going to happen overnight. So I would start with the contract and test his will.
Okay. I can do that. Okay. So one more question before I got to get out of here. There's a lady, and because I work 50% in my state and 50% in another state, right? She had reached out to me. Her husband had passed away. She does have a will. She's wanting to move into assisted living because she's in her 80s, but she doesn't have any family members except for one who lives all the way in Alaska. She did say, her words, she's collected a lot throughout the years. She's had the property for 40 plus years. And she said, hey, if you're willing to come out here on your time, it would be 2 hours of my time. But anyways, if you're willing to come out here on your time and take a look at the property, and tell me what I need to do, because she doesn't want to move all the stuff out. She can't. She's willing to sell the property. But here's the thing. She hasn't opened up a probate for her husband passed away. I'm not sure. I don't know if she's supposed to do that, or can I still write an agreement if I get it at the right price? The ARV is around $370,000. She said she didn't give me a price or anything like that. She said her health is going downhill pretty fast. She doesn't have any help, and she just really, really needs to get rid of it. She contacted me off of one of my mailers. She said, hey, Olivia, I got your sticky note last month. And I was like, nope, I'm not going to, I'm not going to sell the property, but I have a change of heart now. Yeah. So how would I be able to do that?
So
Like
I
the
would
probate
take the
part?
same approach as the other one. I would start
Okay.
with a simple contract,
Hmm.
knowing you
Okay.
need to take care of her just like you would take care of your own mother.
Right.
Period. Like, and just because she
Okay.
has no family members, I would still ask her, is there anybody that we can bring in, a friend, a lawyer, anyone to kind of help you? Remember, the lawyer, don't let a lawyer scare you. They're just there to make sure it's legal and above board. They're not there to set
Hmm.
price.
Okay.
I would also use your title company to instruct what you need to do to clear the title to get it sold. And both
Awesome.
these contracts, when you write them,
Hmm.
set the closing dates like till the end of the year, so you don't have to chase them around for an extension.
Oh my
You got a
goodness.
lot of
So
work to
good
do
to
on
know.
it. So, guys, I'm telling you,
Goodness.
Olivia's out there hunting. Like, she's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
a great job hunting, and so now she's kind of figuring out the other stuff after she
Right.
gets them, and that's how you get people to help you out. So many people want to
Okay.
do it the other way. They want to figure everything out and then go hunt. Olivia, how
Okay.
long have you been doing wholesaling for?
I would say about a year and a half now. I've
Yeah, so
only done 2 deals, but I've gotten my teeth kicked in.
I know.
So I've come to find that government list for me work best because even though they're not ready to sell right now, I've heard people tell me, hey, maybe the summertime, I have your letter,
Mhm.
have your number, I have your email. We're dealing with somebody passing in our family, but we have you in mind, and
Perfect.
that's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
helping people out, right? So
So I see
yeah.
Olivia all the time online here.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's actually the first time I talked to her. So she's always active in the comments and the chats. Guys, like,
Great.
she's been through the journey.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like what she just said, I can't give you better medicine. You dig in your government list and you go hunt. And then when you get find a problem you can solve, make sure you're going to make a profit, because the
Mhm.
deeper the problem, the higher the profit has to be. So she has to
Exactly.
solve all these probate problems. There's got to be a
Right.
healthy profit. Plus, she has an elderly senior lady, and she's going to do the due diligence to take care of her like she'd treat her own mother, because you don't want
Yes.
it to come back on you. So involve people that will help represent her interest, because when
Okay.
if your mother didn't have family around like that, you would want them to do the same. And I know you're going to
Oh,
do
yes.
the same. So
Yes.
test the intent of the motivation and figure it out.
Okay.
And by the way, sometimes little old ladies, they don't know what their property's worth. And like, this is your
Right.
part where you have to show restraint, compassion, and create a win-win for everybody involved.
Awesome.
And if you do
Awesome.
that, you can
Right.
see it all the way through, because most of these transactions you're talking about will take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And I promise you,
know.
at some sort, a lawyer's going to shoot something over the bow going, are you protecting her? And you're going to show them how you did it. So I think you're
Okay.
doing an awesome job, guys, and listen to her advice.
That's really, really
It's
good to know.
wholesaling is
Okay.
just, you got to put in the work. And she's doing
Yes.
mailers, she's doing reverse driving her dollars, she's pulling government lists, and it works, but you have to do it. And as each deal you go through, each seller you deal with, you get a little bit better each day.
Yes,
And
I
now you have
agree.
the confidence to talk to anyone, right?
Yes, I agree. I've come to find it's more about having conversations with people and hearing their story than it is about the real estate. Sorry, don't mind my son. It's,
The real
so
estate is
yeah.
just a side effect of the human
Exactly.
emotion. And so if you treat the real estate like a piece of math and actually connect with people, that's the little difference no guru's ever going to tell you. And that's the secret why me and Zach do so well in this business.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
I think it's
agree.
awesome. Thank you.
I agree.
Love it.
Thank you guys so
Okay,
so
reach
much.
out
Now
to
I
us
feel
if you
so much
need our help,
better.
okay?
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a blessed day.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Boom. I love it.
That's perfect, man. Like, you just summed up the entire thing of what we were teaching today.
Exactly. You go after it and you have genuine conversations, you're going to do well, right?
Yeah,
And
that's it.
that's the point. So, guys, I'm telling everybody, if you want to go out here and get some good results in wholesaling, it all comes back to knowing what to do and taking the action. So how do I solve knowing what to do? Go to freewholesaling.com. And then the action part, it's up to you, right? If you are not willing to do what it takes to become successful, you won't. If you are willing to do what it takes to become successful, then you will become successful.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty simple formula. I can talk to any person on any one-on-one or on a live stream, and I can tell their success divided by how much effort they put in their marketing. And every single time when somebody complains to me that they're not getting the leads they want, they don't do the marketing that they need to do. Guys, in life, you get what you deserve, not what you want. And to get what you deserve in life financially, right? Not life, but like, I'm just talking about financially, you have to do what you have to do. And so if you want to get the results that you want, put the work in, and it will happen. That's the thing the Matrix doesn't want you to know. Hard work's not a thing. You just pay money and it's all magically there. No, do the hard work. It will lead you to wholesaling success. So guys, if you got any value from this video, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com, and you'll be on tomorrow. So
yeah.
it's gonna be a
So
fun one.
anybody we miss, hop on tomorrow. I'll be on there and we will catch up, man. Let's talk about it. Guys, go out and take the advice, take the action. The only thing separating from you and a wholesale deal is this. Fix it. The rest will take care of itself.
Exactly. So guys, see you guys soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out.
Rick Ginn signing out.
Have a blessed one. See you.